You doing it,
everybody to Catfish Weekly, along with the Chad and Josh from the Weekend Angler. We want to welcome everybody to the show tonight. And tonight, Chad, Josh is going to be making sinkers. So
I can smell the lead.
Smell the lead poisoning
do
going
you
on
feel
right
it?
now.
Do you feel it attaching itself inside your nose?
I do. My lungs are getting heavier as we speak.
If you get too much of that, it's got to be bad for you. But for years and years, I've made my own sinkers. I actually have a big pan that'll probably hold 30 or 40 pounds of lead at a time in a ladle. And if I'm making a bunch of them, I'll be outside doing that. The problem is, as windy as it's been here lately, I have two of them pots, just like the one that Josh has now. I have one of them tore apart because one of the couple of parts need to be replaced. So I got them and they're put in. I just have to put it back together. But those for inside work or in your garage or low wind conditions, those work really well. And they're fast to melt the lead. You don't. The other one I have runs off of propane, so you about the time you get rolling, you run out of propane. You got to fill your jug up, and then you're back starting all over again. But my brother and I used to make sinkers in the mornings when it was cool, and my mom was alive, and we would make it for 4 or 5 hours at a time, and then split up all of them. And you can make a lot of sinkers if you're in need to do it. Doing that way, you just have to be careful. And the thing that you don't want more than anything is watering that lead. Whether it be drinking water or rainwater or sweat off of your
I was saying, even sweat.
You don't want it.
Do it. And you'll do it. You'll do it one time, and you will be watching for that every time afterwards.
That is 100% correct. Chad, what do you say we invite everybody to welcome them into the show tonight?
Let's do it. We got Mr. Avid Fisherman. We got Sampy's in the house. Matt Carter. Oh, Crappy Dave Fish on. Chris Everett. John Patrick Jr. Creole Catfishing. Seen he was with Richard Cluck and Danny here recently. Got to meet him. Got Irvin the Paid Tourist. You, because you're loud and noisy with your lead. We got Lance McCoo guy. We got Member, a couple of crosses fishing. What's going on, Betty Jean? Big Ridge Catfishing. Bumping Mike Greenwell. Michelle from It's All Mine.
Chrissy Brown was the first one in chat tonight, Chad.
I didn't get to scroll back far enough to see Miss Chrissy Brown, but a pleasure as always, my dear. We've got Member and my beautiful wife. Get hooked on D-fishing. We got Cat Life Outdoors. Scroll down here. We got Mr. LG Bass, Jennifer Copley, Sean Abney, Mike Irvin. And looks like I'm caught up.
Mike Irwin always comes in and likes and shares before the show starts. And Mike, we really, really appreciate everything you do. And if you haven't hit the like button, please go ahead and do that. Since Josh and Chad have come in here, we've tried to change things a little bit. We're not having quite as many guests on, but look at the knowledge that we're gaining from making sinkers and showing you how to do rods and all the different things. And we're going to continue with that trend. If everybody likes it, please hit the thumbs up, subscribe. And if you haven't thought about joining, there's a join button down below. We'd love to have you join in.
Amen to that, Papa. We definitely are wanting, to keep it kind of fresh. And of course, we'll continue to have guests here and there, but
sure.
Different topics is always a good thing. And I think this is something that's kind of fun to do. I've done it, I melt my own lead at times, and I've got molds and lead laying around, and I haven't done it recently just because I don't want to clean the lead that I have. But
well, Chad, there's a way to do that that's not so bad.
Well,
if you will get out your lead and melt it and make ingots out of it and just spend a day doing that, and clean them as you go. And then when you get ready to pour lead, you just take your cleaned lead and put it in your melting pot and melt it down. And when you go to town then of making them, you can really lay out right there. That's what I got to, Josh. Yep. And you can really make a lot of them. There's Dave Funk. Welcome, Dave. Glad to see you in chat tonight.
Yep, I've got a bunch of mini muffin tins. When I'm cleaning lead, I just pour lead muffins.
Jeremy with
that's going to be your new nickname, Lead Muffin.
Lead muffin.
Josh, you want to tell us what you're doing there tonight?
Yeah, we're pouring some egg sinkers tonight. A bunch of 1/4 ounces and 1/8 ounces. I'm gonna be making some dragon weights out of those.
Okay.
And the mold that I've got, it does 1/8 and 1/4. Pour 7 of it. Pour 7 of whichever size you're pouring at the time. Cool. And it's just got this little pull pin. You take that goes in one end of the mold there up there at the top. And what I do is just take and I'll pour about 3, and I'll go ahead and rotate that pull pin a couple times and finish the rest of the pour. And the only reason I do that is I've had that pull pin get stuck in that lead before. And when it does, you're having to open it up and pull each individual sinker off with a pair of pliers. And it's not a fun way to make, a fun way to make lead.
No, it's not. We've got It's All Mine. Michelle has joined us, Jennifer Copley, and Skip with Clearview Outdoors. Welcome, you guys. Glad to have you in chat tonight.
And if you guys look, when I'm dumping my sinkers out, I'll dump them up here in this pile at the front of my tray, and then each pour, I'll slide 1 back here to the back. And when I get to 10, I'll slide it back and start it again. But I can get about 20 pours before the mold starts getting hot. When the mold gets hot, I've got another identical mold to it. I'll start using that one. By the time I do 20 pours with it, this one will be cooled off again. And I just rotate through those 2 molds. So if you've got something you're going to, you're going to be pouring a lot of, it pays to get a second mold. That way you don't have to sit there that downtime. Because if you get the molds too hot, you can actually set those wooden handles on fire. They'll start smoking and
I always use a pair of welding gloves to hold on to them with because they get really, really hot. But it's a great way to save a little money, but especially if you have some friends or something that's in the automotive business and they can help you get the lead for a little of nothing or nothing, that's even better. I know them days are kind of far behind us now because
wheel weights are zinc and steel and they're plastic.
That's right. There's very little lead left in them. And one of the better places now, and you guys can correct me if you know a better place, but going to the scrap metal place and picking up lead from them and buying it from them. I know that you're having to pay for it, but you get a higher quality of lead than wheel weights that way. And it's really not it's still cheaper than buying them. It just is, because sinkers are at a premium ever since they put lead on the precious metal list, and that's caused them to be expensive.
Yeah, you really got to get it in with, seems like now with those scrap yards too, at least around here. I went and asked before, and they sold it to me as a one-time deal.
They let you have all you wanted?
Yeah, they let me have whatever I could buy that time, and but they said they would only do it that once because they obviously have places that they sell it to as well.
Yeah,
they want to make sure that they are able to please their buyers, I guess.
Yeah, well, I'd wait a little while and go back and visit with them again.
Indoor shooting ranges is a good spot too. Sometimes if they don't have anybody that's, they're having to pay to have all that hauled off. If they don't have anybody buying it, they can, you can usually get it cheap from them.
Like that. Welcome, Maurice Cason. Glad to have you in chat tonight.
What's up, Mr. Maurice?
Maurice.
Now, I know we kind of jumped right into it, Josh, but I do believe we kind of started to talking about it, at least with Lyle when he's talking about the water situation. But let's go over at least a little bit too about safety when you're doing this and prep and stuff like that, right? From start to finish.
Oh yeah, you should definitely wear gloves. Obviously, I'm not. You should wear some form of eye protection, which I'm also not. But if you're going to do it right, you're going to get splashed with it every once in a while. It happens.
It does.
I do always make sure I'm wearing long sleeves and like jeans or something like that, just to help things out. But one of the things I will say, if you're using one of these types of bottom pour pots, have you a regular screwdriver right there handy. You can even use it to pick your sinkers out of the mold with, because at the top of this little spigot is a slot, and if this thing starts dumping lead, you reach up, turn that back and forth a few times, and it'll stop that lead from falling out the bottom. Because if it starts going down here, it splatters everywhere.
Oh, it does.
And Mikey, that's exactly right. Do as I say, not as I do.
Well, I can, for one, tell you that wearing long pants and shoes is a good idea, because that splatter is hot when it falls down on your legs or feet.
Lead melts around 550 degrees. So
is that when it is? I knew it was under 600.
Yep, about 550 is where lead melts, and it'll burn you.
And it hurts.
James Dockery wanted to know, how much lead do you? Where'd it go? How much lead do you have, Josh?
I need to buy some more. I think I'm down to about 500 pounds.
Yeah, they can go pretty quick.
I usually buy it about a ton at a time.
We're very pleased to welcome James Dockery in the chat tonight.
And Mr. Mad Chatter Catfishing.
Hey, Richard, welcome. It's one thing that James sends me nasty little innuendos in a private message, and I have to supply emojis to him, but we're still glad to have him in chat.
James liked the video I sent him today.
I bet he does. Now, tell us about your pot, your melter there. Is that the big one? They make two. They make a small one and a large one.
This is a small one. This is the 10-pound Lee pot bottom pour. I've got my camera is actually resting on a 20-pound Lee pot, but it's not a bottom pour. It's just a hot pot, and I use that with a ladle. Now, anything over, this thing's good for anything about 5 ounces and under. Anything over 5 ounces, it doesn't pour fast enough, and you'll start getting some striations in there, and your sinkers just aren't binding as good as they should be. I'll grab a mold here in a second, and we'll pour an 8-ounce no roll out of this pot, and I'll show you how bad it looks.
Okay, I have one. I have two like that work like that are 20-pound pots, and I looked
at the 20. But
I get along great with them.
For a lot of what I do, this 10 seems to work good, and it heats up fast. And
that's the only thing. It takes a little bit to heat that 20-pounder up.
Yeah,
I think that if I would start out with less in it at a time when I started, would help that. But I fill it up. Let's go.
I fill the whole thing up.
Yeah. Welcome, Fishing with Squirrel, and glad to have you in here tonight.
So, Squirrel.
Lance, cool guy.
Clearview Outdoors says 621.5 degrees. Question mark?
There we go.
James Dockery has about 1,500 pounds of lead at the moment. It will become the new gold in the fishing world.
I will take it all. I'll take it all, James. Just let me know.
2, 4, 6, 8, 9.
Outdoors in Indiana with Dave Scott. Welcome. And Danny Stone has made it in here. Danny,
Hey, Danny.
I'd
Mr.
like
Danny.
to reach out to you with condolences for the loss of your mother. I sent you a message 3 or 4 times, and I never could make one to sound correctly because I've been through what you're going through, and I felt it was better that I didn't say anything than to say something wrong. But we all have you in our thoughts and prayers, and your entire family.
Yes, sir.
We
We
got
also
our
hope that your brother's doing all right too. Heck of the accident. Poured. Danny says though he's poured 200 pounds of 3, 4, and 5 ounce bank sinkers over the past few days. That should last about a month in the rocks of the Mississippi.
It's addictive. Now here's a no roll sinker mold.
I have one.
I'm not going to put the pull pin in it because we're not going to keep this thing because it's going to look really bad. But the pull pin,
well, being cold will make it look.
Being cold, it's not going to look great anyway. But
right,
there's a type of pull pins that those no roll sinker molds use, and if you're going to do those, you got to have a set of vice grips to grab that pin with and all that. But
you sure do. Do they still sell the ones with the wooden handles like you was using before?
They do those for the bigger molds, but on the no rolls, they've all gone to those coat hanger looking things.
Yeah, I have them small ones. I haven't got any of the big ones. I don't know. When we bought this house, somehow mine got lost. I haven't found them. I don't know where they're at. I need to get some new ones, but I don't use those kind of sinkers much anymore. Anyhow,
we'll pour this thing full and then we'll take it out and we'll do a second pour. Just try to heat the mold up a little bit so it won't look as bad. But
yeah, I was going to say, why don't you maybe tell them too how you warm your molds up before you start pouring normally?
The easiest way to warm your mold up is just make some dummy pours. Just
take
and get that in there. Now I will occasionally set my mold at the top of the lead pot. See, the 6 don't look, even on a cold mold, that's not horrible. That's probably
that's not bad for a cold mold.
That's probably a passable sinker. The 8, on the other hand, you can really see those striations in it. But
I don't think the fish care.
No, fish don't care, but you'll care if that sinker comes flying apart.
Oh yeah.
I agree with the putting it on the top to warm it up, or even using
I've got a
hot air gun, warm them up a little bit.
I've got my toaster oven that I use when I'm powder coating. I've been known to turn it on and set those things in that toaster oven, let them get good and warm. But quickest way to do it, pour you a couple dummy molds and just take your sinker out and throw them right back in the.
That or leave them sit in there for a minute.
So that looks a little bit better.
The longer you leave them, that hot lead set in there, the faster that mold will warm up.
But even there, that 8 ounce, just if I poured that with a ladle out of that 20-pound pot, this thing would just look like one solid piece of lead. This one looks, you can tell where it's fallen in there.
Mm-hmm.
But we'll set that mold to the side. There we go. Let's get some more lead for the lead pot. We'll let that cool, let that get in there and melt. Now, when you throw these cold ingots in, even though they look like they melted right off the bat, you need to give your lead pot 3 or 4 minutes to get everything back up to temperature, because it's going to be real thick. You want that lead to thin out real good.
That's correct. I see Mark has made it in from Catfish and Crappie. He will be following us with guest Ryan Bortz right after we're through here tonight.
That's going to be a good show.
I think it is.
Ryan's a good dude.
Yes, he is.
Danny says, do not, I repeat, do not put it in the microwave.
Yeah, there you go. Quality advice.
That would be a bad idea.
Quality advice right there.
There's Kenneth from Takedown Catfishing. What's going on, buddy?
Kenneth.
What we'll do while we're waiting for for that all to heat up, these things have cooled off enough that I can touch them by hand now. And I've just got me a pair of flush cutters. They sell them out of Barlow's and everywhere else, and they want $10 a pair. But you can go to Harbor Freight or Menards and get these for about $2 or $3. and they're a real fine cut, flush cut little cutter. And they work great for cutting that lead.
Yep. I got a set of those I got from work a long time ago, probably 20 years old.
And then what I do, I just get me two plastic storage bins. I put the sinkers in one, and the little, they look like chocolate chips. Put those in the other, and then I can put those back in my lead pot.
You know, I like chocolate chip cookies, and Cindy makes some really good ones, but I don't want those there in them.
They'd be heavy.
Chad knows what her chocolate chip cookies taste like.
I love chocolate chip cookies.
Of course he does.
Keith Doc Reed, what's going on, buddy?
I thought you said Dockery for a second.
No. We've mentioned that name once already. That was enough.
And you'll get your rhythm after you've poured a little bit.
Not sure if Dockery can melt lead to smell that stuff or not. He's already goofy. I mean, it'd really mess him up.
He'd be mad as I think if Dockery started pouring lead, he'd end up mad as a hatter.
Yeah, I think you're right, Creole. I don't need to gain any more weight. I'm having a problem with that right now, anyhow.
Nope, I just got a message.
You did?
Yep.
As long as
Melissa, good afternoon, evening. Dan Thompson, what's up, pal? Now, this is a, kind of like fly. We talk about fly tying all the time, how you can really get a rhythm and kind of have a lot of fun doing this. It's actually can be a way to save money if you can find the lead at a good price and stuff like that. But the molds as well, they're not as cheap as they once were. You used to be able to pick them up for 20, maybe $30, and it was expensive. But now they're getting to be $50, $60. Or
I remember buying them brand new for $29.99.
Yeah, there's one I really want, and it's $70.
Wow.
I just can't bring myself to buy it yet.
Yeah.
But I will at some point because I'm buying the sinkers from somebody else right now, and
if you have the inclination, you can go over to Keith's channel, Fishing and Stuff, and he'll show you how to make molds.
He'll show you how to make a mold.
You bet.
Right. Fishing and stuff.
And I tell you what, you know what else works? You can dig a hole in the ground for making like bank sinker or something. You can dig a hole in the ground and just pour that lead in the ground.
Have you ever seen the ones where they pour the hot lead down the ant colony?
Oh yeah,
that is so cool.
That is way cool.
I ain't wasting my lead.
Yeah, well, you can just dig it up, but it's way cool when you do. It's amazing what those creatures do. And if you ever get a chance to watch one of those videos, you'll understand because some of them are mass structures underground that they've created.
I'd love to do it to a nest of ground bees just because I hate those things anyway.
Yeah, me too.
Real fast, what mold is that?
That is the model EG 1448.
Welcome, Northeast Kansas fishermen.
Egg sinker.
Egg sinker mold, 1/8 and 1/4.
I think that he's asking about the one that's so expensive.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. That is it is a mold for like those. I think I got one sitting here. Those torpedo sinkers that I use when I'm suspend drifting.
Yes.
Let's see. I got a little bitty one here, but it's a sinker like that. Got an eye on both ends and you put swivel on there. I use the 8-ounce ones when I'm suspending, but I've been buying some 24s because they'll hold the 24 hold that line straight up and down while I'm bumping.
Right.
I slow the boat down more when I'm bumping, so I can suspend and bump at the same time with those.
The one that makes the single or solid lead that like a drifting weight pencil sinkers.
Yeah.
I don't know how much they are. I haven't checked in a long time, but I'd kind of like to have one of those to try.
I think they'd work good.
I think they would too. And depending how long they are, you could put them in and make drifting weight sinkers out of them, and they'd be flexible and bendable. And
I will say this: once you buy a lead pot and you buy your first mold that you think you're going to want,
yeah, it's a no stopping.
Be prepared, because you're going to keep buying molds. You're going to say, "Oh well, I could pour this or I could pour that," and I've got all kinds of molds.
Yeah, me too.
I need to get me some split shot ones.
Yeah, I don't have any of those. What I have, I think I've got bank sinker molds up to 24 ounces.
Wow.
Really?
I think so. I know I got 20. I think I got a 24.
Well, my favorite one that I have that I use the most is my 8 and 10 ounce coin sinkers, because I do those a lot.
I think that they should have called them no rolls, because they roll less than the no rolls.
They do roll less than the no roll.
I've got a couple of no roll molds that I haven't used in years. I like those, but I don't like
those are good. Those are good sinkers.
I do not want them on I don't want a no roll on my line, because I
used the no rolls for years when I bank fish. But now, like for suspending and stuff like that, I usually use the coin. But I have found another one that I really like, and it's like a big teardrop, kind of like that one you just showed, Josh.
Mm-hmm. With a hole at the top.
It's kind of like that, but it's almost like a big, like I said, it's like kind of like a teardrop, and it's got a swivel at the top of it, so it actually spins like 3 spins.
Oh, that'd work, yeah.
Dee and I found them. There was a gentleman down at CatCon from, I want to say he was out of like New Jersey or somewhere, and we saw them and tried them, and I really liked them. That's another one I would like to get. Jody made it in. Fish Flex, what's up, buddy?
Hey, Jody.
Put out a heartwarming little video the other day. I think it was yesterday. Him and his son getting out there. If you have a career center close by that has a machine and tool program, they might just make you a custom mold.
That is true. You can buy Do It company that makes all these molds. They will sell you a blank one. Now they sell them to you with the understanding that, you know, don't get sticker shock when you see what a machinist to charge to machine something for you.
Custom molds can get very, very, very expensive.
Yes,
but you know, they can be good too. I mean, I've seen some wild looking sinkers.
Outdoor Dixon, what's up, buddy?
There's that one tackle shop, and I can't think of the name of it. Chad probably knows it, and they make some wild looking sinkers.
I think
it was on your Christmas show or your Black Friday show a couple of years ago.
Did them sinkers come from Balls Deep Tackle?
That's who it was.
God, I hate both of you all. I don't know why you all treat me like you do.
Because we love you.
Oh, there it goes. Look at that. We got the drip going on.
Even Mark's in on that one.
And the drip is gone.
That was something there that you just done to stop the drip. And what that is like a long needle point that goes in there, and when you turn that like that, it stops the drip, because it keeps that whatever impurity has got between the seal and that needle, and that'll seal it right back off, and you lose your drip. On some of the lead, you have to do that quite frequently. Others, not so much.
Yeah, if you've got some, you can tell it in a hurry if you get some dirty lead in there.
Yes,
because it will drip. Like right now, I'm running stuff that I just put through, so it's starting to drip. But once those impurities make their way out, we'll be good.
Now, welcome, Daryl. Glad to see you in here with us tonight.
We got that fresh mold now, so we can do 20 pours on this one. So that'd be 140 quarter ounce egg sinkers per mold.
That's a lot.
And I usually take and I'll pour. I usually end up doing 40 or 80 pours when I fire up the pot to do it.
Oh, I'm sure. Matt with Wannabe Outdoors has made it in. Did you say that you did or did not have a what kind of sinker was you talking about earlier, Chad? Those little squeeze-on weights?
Oh, a split shot?
Yeah. Has anybody ever made any of those?
I have never made any.
I haven't either. I've never seen a mold for them. I know you can buy them, but I just wondered how hard they would be to make because
they make.
In the summertime, when we actually have water here, I go through several of those.
Oh, yeah.
I caught a deal on them whenever our local Gander Outdoors was deciding to become a camping world. So they put all their fishing stuff for like 90% off.
Oh, wow.
And I bought these big bulk packs of split shots. I probably got enough split shots to last me till I die.
Yeah, they don't run them things on sale around here.
I know my local bait shop, they carry different molds and stuff like that. They can obviously, they'll order anything I want. But you can always also go on Do It Molds website and order. I've done that. I've bought 2 or 3 molds from them. But I would definitely be something I'd be interested in, is finding some split shots because, yeah, you guys there's a lot.
We've got a fairly local bait shop that carries a really good assortment of the Do It molds, and just about any time that I need one that they don't have, I order from Barlow's Tackle down in Texas, and they priority mail it. I get it in a couple days, and they are a little bit cheaper than buying it straight from Do It. So I usually buy from them, and they have a real cool catalog. So they send you a catalog every time you make an order.
I would like to say that Matt. Oh, shoot. I had his name right on the tip of my tongue, and now I forgot it. Big Dave Ashby, Bottom Dwellers Tackle. He used to have the best price that I ever seen on Do It molds. Now, I haven't bought any molds for a long time. I haven't bought anything from Dave in a long time just because I haven't needed anything from anybody, actually. But if you get a chance and you're looking for a mold, I would definitely check Dave's prices out because for a long time, they was the cheapest around. And he's got everything else under the sun, too.
I like Bottom Dwellers Tackle.
Hey, fast shipping.
If you want peg floats for your Sandy Cooper rigs, that's the place to buy them. You can buy them in bulk.
That's what I like to do. Everything I can buy in bulk, I would much rather do that.
You know, there is something else that, sorry, I keep going back to the whole safety thing. But I've seen it spinning in the back of your screen here, Josh. And when you're doing this, is one thing that, you don't want to end up like Josh. He's finally decided to turn a fan on. But ventilation's big when doing this, especially if you're doing this for a long, long period of time and very often. You do not want to have, the odd-shaped head that Josh now has.
Yeah, that's not a ventilation fan. Lyle asked about that before the show. That's actually the case fan on our server for the house.
Okay, I was trying to say that. Never mind.
Yeah,
Josh should do, not what he does.
And here you go. Josh, do you have a window fan going by chance?
No, I got the door open about 5 feet away though. So
oh, okay. Yeah.
If I turn a fan on, it'll be noisy in here.
I have a tip for people wanting to do this in their garage. If your garage is attached to the house, don't do it.
Don't.
Because your wife will come out and say you're smelling up the whole house.
Oh, yeah, you'll stink up the house. I ain't no kidding.
Trust me. Ask me how I know. Now, you changed that, so it tells me you just switched molds, correct?
No, I got through with my first 10, so I'm working on the second 10.
Oh.
And then I'll do Okay. Yep. Give me a second here.
Josh showed the rig he uses for suspend fishing and how
Yep.
he
let
fishes.
me-
Very nice. Good question there, Skip.
I've got one very similar. Let me grab it real quick.
Would like to welcome Jesse from Outdoor Addiction into the show tonight. Glad to have you, Jesse. Especially when processing old greasy wheel brake. 100%, Creole. 100%.
All right, here we go. Here is my suspend drifting rig. Now, this is a 4-ounce sinker. If I'm suspending, I use an 8. At the very least, I use an 8. But I got these for some bank poles and stuff. But at the top of that, I keep I'll keep a quick link, and that'll let me hook that onto a swivel up top. When I mold the sinker, I mold a swivel in the bottom, and I'll keep about a 12-inch leader down to my circle hook. I went ahead and threw rattles on all these, and I will tell you, if you take some of those little those string bobber stops, and put you a bobber stop about 2 or 3 inches above that circle hook, then that's as far as your rattle will come up. Because if you don't, these things float, and they're up here floating at the top of your sinker,
away from the hook.
Away from the hook. But those bobber stops, or just cut you a piece of leader line and tie it around there in a couple big knots, and it won't go up no higher.
That's right.
And that thing will sit there and do that.
Would like to welcome Lisa. Where'd she go? With Spring Mountain Catfishing into the show tonight, along with Snake River Cat Slayer. But yeah, it doesn't take much to hold them little things. But if you don't put something behind them, you're right. They'll end up the furthest end away from that hook, and you're trying to attract them to the hook. Why would you want your rattle away from it?
Yeah, I keep those rattles right down there as close as I can get.
Close, yeah. If they work because it's close to the hook, not because it's a 6, 8, 10, 12, 15 inches away from the hook.
And I don't think a rattle will ever. I've had people ask me if I thought the rattles work. I don't know if they work or if it's just in my head. But I can tell you this: I don't think in any way, shape, or form that they'll ever hurt you.
No.
So
thank you, Matt Calder. We appreciate that so very much. I think that has something to do with the great co-hosts I've had over the years. The thing that sticks in my mind about that, Josh, is I used to fish every once in a while with a great friend of mine, and he showed me rattles, and at that time Demon Dragons was the only thing out there, and he showed me those where the fish had hit them and took all the paint off from them.
Mm-hmm.
But they wasn't a foot away from the hook. They was right there, and they sometimes
I keep those things
and the rattle. Sometimes they just hit the rattle, so it tells me that they do something at least some of the time.
It makes them mad sometimes, I think.
Yeah.
My opinion is that vibration at certain times, depending on how they're feeding, agitates them.
I think the vibration does more for it than the sound.
Yeah.
Oh, I think to me that's 100% what it is. I think there's probably two reasons. One, it's agitating them. It's like, what is that irritating?
Yeah.
Vibration. I'm not saying it. Sorry, getting other messages. And the other is curiosity. What's going on? What's the vibration about? I want to see, is it a fish in distress, or
hey, what's going on here?
Is the lead head guy like dropping his phone in the water again? And I need to go rescue it for him or something.
Speaking of which, did you see the message I put up about that this morning? About the phone tether?
Sorry, I can't hear you.
Yes, you can.
About the what?
Phone tether.
Sorry, you're breaking up.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. I tell you what, I put a bobber on mine now. I put that little tab on my phone where I can
That you put in behind the case?
that I put in behind the case.
Is that what you're talking about? That tab behind the back of the phone?
Yep, and it's just got a little little D-ring tab, and I just take and I hook a I've got a little spring bungee lanyard about 12 inches long, and I put a big pool noodle catfish bobber on there. So if my phone falls out, it's going to bob up and down in the water.
That would be handy for you, Chad.
I bet it would.
It's a shame you didn't have one of those on the other phone.
Shut it.
I know. I wish I'd had one too.
I'm not going to say anything because that could happen to me the next time out.
You know what? We were out there yesterday with it on the boat, and I had zip ties all the way around it, and every which way I could get it, to where that thing wasn't going nowhere yesterday.
There you go.
I think
Jerry Parker.
Creole's donated a few phones to the.
Yeah, I think he has too. We'd like to welcome Jerry Parker into chat. Congratulations on a great deer, Jerry.
Yeah, you got him a nice deer. He needs
Really?
to bring my rifle. He needs to bring my rifle back to me now.
Really,
Sean
Flex?
John T, welcome.
All right, Lyle, I finished up that set of pours, so that mold was getting hot. So we're back to the other mold now.
Okay.
And we're ready
you
to.
Poured a lot more on it than I thought you would, but those are kind of small.
They're small, and I get in a rhythm on them. And then this is what I was talking about earlier. This nasty old oil here. That's Huck's 5W30 motor oil.
The good stuff.
I got a little piece of little piece of rag in there. I'm gonna pick that up, just run that oily rag down that pull pin, and that kind of helps keep it from sticking. And you're good for about 20 pours when you oil that thing.
Hey, as good as you just did that, it really looks like you like ball deep tackle.
Have you ever had that pin so hot it smoked when you run that rag across it?
Yes, I have.
I thought maybe you might.
No, Matt, I have not. I sure did. Two in the same. Yeah. Creole, yeah. Not a popular idea with Florida. I wonder if he ever started building that house yet.
I'm pretty sure that he has not. Laura would have surely messaged me by now. I tried to help her out all I could with that, and
I tried to help Creole the other day during Rogers' tournament. He was in there talking, and I said "Roll Tide," and Creole didn't like that.
Didn't Kentucky Redneck Outdoors? Thank you for joining us tonight.
Three.
Well, you're knocking them out tonight, Josh.
Oh yeah.
How many of those do you think you need to make so you can finish your order of dragon weights?
I've got to pour 40 of these. 40 of these is going to get me pretty close, and then I'll have to start pouring some 1/8 ounce also. But
and what size are those quarters?
These are quarters. I don't think I have a finished dragon weight handy. I wish I did. I'd show.
Yeah, I wish you did too.
I can grab one. There's one in the boat right outside.
And when people are looking to buy dragon weights and sinkers and hooks and all the stuff that you have available, where is it that they can go to find this stuff, Josh?
They can send me a message on Facebook or go to boneheadsbaits.com and give me just a second, and I'll type it in the chat because it's spelled with Z's because I wanted to be 90s cool.
Okay.
All the young pups don't understand. If you want to be cool in the 90s, and you had an S you were spelling, you put a Z in there.
I wouldn't know. In the 90s, I was working my tail off. I had 3 little kids.
There we go. I put that in chat.
All right, perfect. Hey, Chad, he shows up as Catfish Weekly too now.
But the
Well, it ain't
easiest
fair.
way to do it. But I will say this: if you send me a message on Facebook directly, I can make you a lot better deal on going straight through Facebook than I can on the website.
Wow.
Because I'm not paying the. If we do a deal between us, it's between us. We're not having to involve the the card processing, the Square that processes all my cards, because they tend to take an obscene percentage sometimes.
Yes, they do.
You know what's interesting, Lyle, is I can time Josh out when he does that.
Really?
I thought about doing it, but I'm a nice guy.
You would time out Catfish Weekly, Chad.
Yeah. Yeah, I would. No one is above that.
Oh, my. Which reminds me, and I'm going to try not to make this political, but tomorrow is a day that everybody should get out and vote. I know some people that have already voted, and I'm not big on that. I think if you're able to make it to the polls, you should go down the day of and do it. But tomorrow is very important that you go and make your selection, whether you agree with the way that the 3 of us politically would go or not. It's still a God-given right for you to vote for the people that you think are the best to do the best job, and you should get out and voice your opinion. It's not something that you have to do. It's something that you should do. So please go vote tomorrow. Make your opinions count for something.
2, 3, 4.
Now here's somebody I can get behind when we make this. This is the political is what we're going to get with this. Is I vote for 24 fishing holidays per year. I agree, and I support this man and his decision.
We need to elect it, Brian. There.
Yeah,
I am the weekend angler, and I approve that message.
That's right.
Whatever you can't decide on, use him for a write-in.
Without getting into the details, we all have our feelings on everything, but just remember, and I've told people this in the past, there are people in countries all over the face of this earth that would give anything they could
to be able
have
to vote.
The option to vote like we do.
That's right.
And there are too many people in our country these days that take that right for granted and just they don't even use it.
If you like to eat, if you like to drive, if you like to do everything that fish, doesn't matter what it is, you do that because of the popularity of being able to vote what's right and what's wrong. And if you don't exercise that, then you just don't care. I feel the reel coming on.
All right, as I said, that's as political as we're getting. Go vote. There you go. No, I don't want no.
I will make this suggestion. Go buy gas and go buy groceries before you go vote. See if it changes the way you think.
That'll do it.
I'm losing control. Josh done sniffs too much of that lead. He's losing control of himself.
I would like to make a couple of more points here while we're at it. Before Chad reels me in 100%, you guys are enjoying this show and the content that we've had the last several weeks, please hit the thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed, we would appreciate it if you do that. And if you really like the stuff, go ahead and join down at the bottom. We would love to have you as a member of what we do. Also, if you guys have any suggestions or anything else that you would like to see us do besides rods and sinkers and stuff, like anything like that we can do while doing the show, we'd be happy to do it for you. Just send us a message. We'd love to hear from you guys. when you if you're watching Catfish Weekly after it's been posted on YouTube when it's not live, or while it is live, leave us a comment at the bottom. Tell us that you like what we're doing, or something that you'd like us to do differently, or guests that you'd like us to have it on. Some people won't be a guest. They don't want to do it. They don't have the internet for it. Whatever the reason might be, some people don't want to do it. Hagen Grub, Hagen Grub, excuse me.
And I would extend that to the folks that are listening on the podcast too. I know of several
Absolutely.
folks that listen to it while they're out at work. And if you've got an idea, something you'd like to see, just get on Facebook or send a message or send an email to catfishweeklytv@gmail.com.
That is correct.
And let us know what you'd like to see. I know that address because when I go to Home Depot and they ask you if you want your receipt emailed, that's
where they're coming from. We want to make this a great experience for all of our viewers. So anybody has any comments or suggestions, please give them to us. We would love to have them, and we'll continue to try to come up with guests and different content than we've had before. And I hear people say, "Oh, you're copying what other people do." No, we don't copy what other people do. They copy what we do because we've been doing it for so long. And some people say, well, there's no new ideas. Bull butter. There's plenty of new ideas. They're just too lazy to come up with them. That's all.
See, that mold is hot.
Yeah.
Now, let's go back. Yeah, let's go back. Let's go back to the mold stuff here for a minute.
Okay.
So,
Can you see the smoke coming off of it?
I can. That's going to get me to my next question for you is what makes molds warp?
You can warp a mold real easy by using it too much. Like if I sat there and just kept pouring and pouring and pouring and pouring and pouring, well, first thing that's going to happen is that black varnish on these handles is going to get soft and sticky and melt and get all over my hand. And if that's my warning. That's that mold warning me, saying, "Hey, you need to let me cool off." If I keep doing it, that mold will eventually warp. And the worst, and one of the worst things you could do is to try to cool that thing. The best way to cool them is to let them sit in the air and let the air take that heat off that mold. If you try to cool it any faster, you'll warp that mold. Once you warp one, you might as well throw it in trash.
Yeah, they're junk.
They're junk. You'll sit there, you'll pour, you'll have lead running out the bottom of your mold, and it'd be garbage. Let me grab a dragon weight real quick.
Would like to welcome Turdo or Arco into the chat tonight. Glad to see you in there. I haven't seen Freddie tonight. What did you do to him?
I haven't seen or talked to Freddie all day. QC Fishing is one of the Shotty's poured note. He is making 1/4 ounce egg sinkers.
Oh, there we go. This is what they'll look like when they're all finished.
Yep.
And you can find it where on ballsdeeptackle.com?
Not on Balls Deep Tackle. But they've got a little swivel up here. You just snap swivel. You can open that up and
show them the little white part at the top if you can get it close enough for it to register.
Yeah, each dragon weight that I make, is that show? Yeah, it seems like it's showing up. This is a 2 ounce.
There it is.
That's cool. Goes. That's cool.
Each one of these that I make will have a bead up here at the top that tells its weight. And if it's a half, and I'll build them in a 1/2 ounce. So I'll do, like, if somebody wanted a 1.5 ounces instead of a 2 or a 1, I'll build them that way. And that's the truth. And,
looks like rabbit turds.
So the ones that are 1/2 ounces will have the numerical weight little bead, and it'll have a little red bead below it, and that means it's a 1/2.
Nice.
Yeah.
But we can take and get while that's cooling off, we'll take and get some of these get some of these snipped. I almost used up all my lead in that pot in that last set of pours. I think I dropped one. There we
We're
go.
running really close on time tonight of what we're going to do. So if anybody has any questions for Josh or Chad or me, go ahead and get them out there right now.
Yep.
I've got some others.
Creole is asking, are those sinkers ribbed for the fish's pleasure?
I think Creole's comment kind of looks like something else. I'll be nice. I'll be nice.
John T said that's why electricians can't find heat shrink. Josh is using it all.
I'm using a ton of heat shrink.
And that heat shrink on those sinkers will last forever, nearly, won't it, Josh?
It'll last. You'll break the swivel off before you ever tear up that heat shrink.
There you go.
And I use a heat shrink. Most of the stuff you buy at the store, one, it's all full of glue anymore, and two, it shrinks down 3 to 1. I buy the stuff that's not glued, and this is a 2 to 1. So it's still, when these things are done, they've got some flexibility in them.
Heck yeah.
And they'll come back out to.
And those are not going to hang up much.
No, and very, very seldom. I mean, you're gonna lose stuff, but we tend to lose more. We lose more hooks than we lose dragging weights. So that's probably what
Matt wants to know: do you only use the black heat shrink, or do you use any other colors?
I use blue right now. It's whatever I can happen to get at the time. That's an old one. When I bought a bunch of black. Right now they're coming in a bright royal blue. I can get other colors, but I tend to just stick with what. Yep, Creole says he took the show in the gutter.
Oh man. Well, Josh, when you get all your lead poured in, why don't you type in your store name where people can get a hold of to order this stuff from you again before we run out of here.
You are not falling on the floor. There you go. So.
And any deformed ones, they just go right back in the melting pot if people are wanting to know. We'll never waste nothing when we're making sinkers.
Oh yeah, if you get one that every once in a while you'll get this, it's usually on the first pour. If the mold ain't quite hot enough, you'll get one that looks like a deformed peanut, and you take just toss it back in the lead pot. It'll belt. You get another one out of there. Chad told me not to say anything, Chad.
I did not say that. I told you that I will not say I love ball deep tackle. Wait,
wow.
You got to make it sound like I said it. Anyway.
It got real bad real quick. Let's see. Danny said, where we fish, sinkers are sacrificial. You can throw it out, but you ain't get it back out. That's the truth.
I got that. That's when I get a place like that, I usually tie my sinkers onto a lightweight leader line to where I plan on losing it.
Yeah, I've come to the realization that if I'm bank fishing on the river, I'm not getting my sinker back. I get one throw per sinker unless I catch a fish on it.
Yeah, that's very true. And don't forget that Mark's coming on right after us with the Catfish and Crappie Show. So be sure to tune in over there with Ryan Bortz as his guest for this evening.
And if anybody has any questions about, if you think about it or you're watching the show after the fact, just send me a message on Facebook. I'll be happy to answer any lead mold questions or tell you where you can buy the lead pot hardware that I use, the molds, all that. None of that's secret. I'll help anybody out that's wanting to get started.
Absolutely. And like I say, if you send a message to Catfish Weekly, either through Messenger or email, if Josh and Chad doesn't see it, I'll make sure that they get the message. That way we can get them in there. Brian, be catfishing. Thank
That's right.
you, sir.
Read that out loud.
Because Chad is so awesome.
Oh,
Brian, be awesome. Thank you, buddy. Yeet fishing, what's happening? You know, you always talking about that, and I just realized we got snagged up down in Bama on one of our initial drags. We lost 6 rig setups at one time, and I was just sitting there calculating how much those sinkers, those hooks.
If you got to be thinking about it, it costs too much.
It cost way too much.
That's exactly right. I know we're running close on time. It's 8 o'clock. But Chad, tell us about your trip right quick.
Yeah, so we headed down to Bama, the wife and I, for our anniversary there on November 1st. We left Halloween night, drove all night just to break down 15 miles from the dam. Luckily, thanks to the catfish community, not just here, but through knowing people through tournaments and other avenues with catfishing, I was able to get somebody to tow me to another gentleman's house who hooked me up and fixed my truck. My water pump went out within like 4 hours of finally getting a hold of somebody. I was on the road ready to go fish. We did pretty well on Wednesday and Thursday, and then Friday it was just a snag fest everywhere we went. But we had a great time. The wife and I, we celebrated our 14th year anniversary down there.
Congratulations, man.
14 years of putting up with her. I can't tell you. It's been a rough ride, but
I'm thinking it's the other way around, buddy.
I am a saint of a man to do this. So no, she is a blessing. I couldn't ask for a better sponsor in my life. So
exactly.
Had a blast, man.
Well, I'm glad you guys had a good time. We was all kind of concerned how things were going to go because we knew you'd had truck trouble. And usually once a weekend starts out like that, it kind of follows through the entire weekend. But once you got past that, you guys actually had a pretty fun weekend. And
we did.
You got away from everybody. You caught some fish. You got to spend some time together. And I'm sure you all went out and had some great food. I know if I'd have been there, we'd have had some great food.
We did have some pretty good food.
There you go.
Well, the good thing is what helped Chad out is the manufacturer of his truck. Whenever they built it, went ahead and put a circle around the problem.
Will you cut him out for the evening?
Much better. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Don't forget, Mark from Catfish and Crappie is on right after this. He's got a great guest. Ryan Bortz is an amazing angler. And he talks some good smack every once in a while, too. So go over and check them out.
He's good at that. He's good at that, too. He's a jack of all trades. That's going to be a good show.
He was an awesome guest when we had him. So I want to thank everybody for watching tonight. Be sure to tune in Thursday night to the bait shop with Chad and Freddie, and followed by Mark and I with Panfish Nation. And then we'll be right back here next Monday night. And I'll let you know later in the week what we're going to be doing on for next week. And it'll be something that you're going to want to see. Thanks, everybody, for watching. See you then.
Have a great week, y'all.
Have an awesome week, everybody.